Martha here, and today I have a delicious recipe for you, and it's a meatloaf, which you might say, what's so great about a meatloaf? But this is no ordinary meatloaf. This is a delicious recipe that you are really going to enjoy if you try it. So it's not your typical meatloaf. I will start with that, and it's very easy to make. You do need, a little more ingredients than you would for a regular meatloaf, but it's my meatloaf, 3 different kinds of meat. And so I have tried this when I used to eat meat. I used to enjoy it very much, but my family still enjoys it, so I still make it and they love it. So I'm gonna take you in my kitchen now, and we're gonna start on this delicious recipe that I think you're going to love and that I hope you'll try. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you everything you're going to need to make this delicious meatloaf recipe. It's one of a kind. So first of all, I'm already preheating the oven at 400. And so I have a loaf pan. I have butter because I'm going to butter the pan, 2 eggs, some seasoned breadcrumbs, some complete seasoning. And here's the secret to my meatloaf, you guys. So I use 3 different kinds of meat. Sometimes I use pork, ham, and ground beef. But today I'm using the ground beef. I'm using ground chorizo, which is like a Cuban sausage. And I am using some ground ham. I have a green pepper, I have an onion, and I am going to be using some barbecue and some ketchup for the top of the meatloaf, which I'm not going to use until after it's almost finished cooking in the oven. So, all right, so I'm going to start preparing. Oh, and I have a big bowl to mix it all in, okay? So let's get started with this recipe. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention was that you are going to need just a little bit of olive oil, because I could add the vegetables without sauteing them first, but I like to soften them up in a little bit of olive oil first. So I have already cut the veggies, and I'm just going to put them in. And to them, I'm going to add some complete seasoning. And this is going to be the first step to the preparation of this meatloaf. And I'm going to keep these in the heat until they are all soft. And then we will continue to follow up with the next step. Okay, so let's continue with the next step to this delicious recipe. I'm gonna put in the ground beef, and I'm gonna break it up a little. And I like to add a little bit of the complete seasoning. Always remember to start with clean hands. And I'm going to add, this is ground ham, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. And just mix that together with the ground beef. And now I'm going to be adding the ground chorizo. And I'm not quite sure if I'm going to add all of that in. I love the way chorizo smells. Have you guys tried it? It's really delicious. They use it a lot in Spanish cooking and Cuban cooking as well. Maybe Argentinian cooking too. Okay, so maybe I'll just add a little bit more of that. Okay. So in there is the ground beef, the ground ham, and the ground chorizo. I added a little bit of the spices, and now I'm gonna go ahead and add the cooked onions and green peppers. And let's mix all that together. I want to make sure that the three meats are blended well. Okay, now I'm going to add just a little more of the complete seasoning. Okay. I'm going to add the eggs now, and this is what's going to bind the meatloaf. This and the breadcrumbs, which I won't be adding too much breadcrumbs, okay? So I'm gonna mix this all in. Make sure the egg is completely mixed in with all the meat. If you try this recipe, you're gonna be amazed at how delicious it is. Okay, now I'm going to get a little bit of breadcrumbs and I'm gonna sprinkle them on. Because between the egg and the breadcrumbs is what's gonna allow your meatloaf to be sliced and cut, and so that it's like a loaf, you know? So it's a loaf. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more. And these are the seasoned breadcrumbs. You could use just the plain, but I like to get the seasoned. This is a very easy dish because after you've done all this, you just have to put it in the oven and that's it. You add the topping and then you have a side dish. And again, if you're trying to eat low carb, this is a low carb dish, which you can just add some vegetables or a salad and it's really delicious. Okay, so now I've already gone ahead and buttered my pan. And I'm gonna be putting the meat in there. You're going to go ahead and flatten it out. Make sure you flatten it out as much as possible. Smooth the top. So like I said, I'm preheating my oven. It's on 400 and I'm going to be placing this in the center rack, and it'll probably take half an hour to 45 minutes, but I will take it out periodically, and if I see that there's fat, which this is lean beef, but if you see any fat, I take it to this sink and I just let go of some of the fat and I put it back in the oven. And then when there's about only 10 more minutes for it to finish cooking, then I will show you what I do, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my oven now, and when it's time to put the topping on it, like 15 minutes before it's finished cooking, then I will be back. Okay, you guys, so here's the meatloaf. I just took it out of the oven and it's got still about another 15 minutes to cook. So I'm gonna make my topping. It smells delicious, by the way. I'm going to put some ketchup in there. And I'm gonna put some barbecue sauce. So I'm just mixing the ketchup and the barbecue sauce. And I'm just gonna throw it all over the top of the meatloaf. Like so. And I'm gonna spread it. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it. And then now I'm gonna put it back in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. Okay everyone, so our meatloaf is cooked and this is what it looks like. And it smells delicious. I'm gonna be taking it out of this pan now and putting it in this plate so I could slice it up. Lift it out. It's that easy. Okay, so you just take your knife and slice it. It's better if you wait till it's a little bit cool and then slice it. It's still a little warm, so I just wanted to show you guys. It's still pretty hot actually. And I'm sorry that I can't taste it for you because I do not eat meat, but I can guarantee you that you are going to love this meatloaf. Doesn't that look delicious? It smells so yummy. I hope you will try this recipe. I promise you, you're going to love it. So I hope you watch my next videos. I have a lot of things coming up, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, guys. Bon appetit. Bye-bye.